What's up, guys? This is Sean with the Sports Fury, and holy shit, Paul George just got traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder of all teams. I'm not sure about y'all, but I had no idea the Thunder were even trying to trade for Paul George. Obviously, the teams that we heard were Cavs, Boston, even the Houston Rockets, especially after getting Chris Paul, right? And then, obviously, the Lakers. The Lakers have been in talks with them because that's where he said he wanted to go. So I'm in complete shock right now. God, but what a deal for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And now, let me go into the details real quick. And apparently, it hasn't been finalized. So they said there's still some more pieces that might be included. So what that probably means is a draft pick or two. So we're going to see what happens on that. But this is, as of right now, the players that are going to the Pacers are Oladipo and Sabonis. Hopefully I said that right. Sabonis is the 11th pick of the first round of last year's draft of 2016. Orlando Magic drafted him and sent him over to Oklahoma City Thunder for Serge Ibaka along with Oladipo. So pretty much the Thunder are taking their pieces that they got for Ibaka, sending it over to the Pacers. So the Pacers are obviously getting two young players in Oladipo and Sabonis, so maybe they're thinking they could develop them, right? But I am a little shocked. I'm puzzled that the Pacers traded Paul George for just two young players. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's still talks about there's something might be included, so maybe a draft pick or two, but I think that's irrelevant, right? Because even if they get a first-round pick from the Thunder aren't going to have a high draft pick. They're going to be a top team in the West, especially now with Paul George. They should be easily top 3, top 4. So what makes them think that that draft pick is going to have any value? Because we all know, typically NBA drafts, the end of the first round, late draft picks in the first round, are hit or miss. A lot of them don't pan out. So it doesn't really makes sense to me why they pulled this trigger. I called Josh right after this happened, and I was talking to him about it. I was dumbfounded. I couldn't believe it happened. And he brought up maybe this is just a trigger-happy trade that the Pacers just felt like, they kind of panicked. They felt like, oh, we got to get rid of him. Kind of like what the Chicago Bulls did with Jimmy Butler. But I felt like Jimmy Butler's trade was at least a little bit better. At least they got a better draft pick. So I'm kind of shocked right now. I feel like the Pacers could have gotten a lot more for Paul George, especially from the Lakers, who have good assets over there. Even Boston, who's got some good draft picks possibly next year and the year after. So it's puzzling to me that the Pacers just launched him to Oklahoma City Thunder. And let me get into the actually good part here, because I know a lot of Lakers fans are wondering, what are we going to do now, right? Because obviously, there's a lot of talks that he wants to go to the Lakers, that's the team he wants to go to. He told the Pacers, I'm not going to resign, etc., etc. So, what does this mean for the Lakers? Now they're pretty much going to have to wait a whole season and wait until next offseason to try to sign him. Now, that's if he doesn't decide to re-sign. And that's another question in all of itself. Will he want to re-sign with the Thunder? Because that's pretty much what this whole next season is going to be about. This whole next season is going to be about the Thunder trying to convince Paul George to stay with them. That's what this is about. So pretty much, can Westbrook get along with Paul George? Will Paul George like the environment? Like having another superstar side by side with them? Another superstar that likes to take control of the ball and take control of the game. We all know Westbrook's going to take that shot. He doesn't care if he's double teamed or triple teamed. He's going to take that shot. I know him and Durant didn't get along because of that. And Westbrook didn't give a fuck who you were. He didn't care you were one of the best players like Durant. He's going to yell at you and chew you out if you have a problem with it. So it's going to be interesting if him and Paul George can get along. And I think that's going to be a key contributor to whether Paul George signs with the Thunder. Now, don't get me wrong. The Thunder have a great fan base, too, so that's going to come into play. I'm not sure if any of y'all have been to the game. They're right down the road. I haven't personally been to a game, but I've watched a lot of their games because it's right down the road, so they always show it local television here in Dallas. And they have such energy. They're always selling out. It's their only professional sports teams, right? So Everybody in Oklahoma City is dedicated to the Thunder. So I got to give them props on that, okay? So that's going to play a factor because a lot of NBA players love that kind of atmosphere, that energetic, committed fan base. So it's going to be interesting. If I was the Lakers, I'd be a little nervous right now. You know, I know that they were trying to gear up for the offseason next year anyways to try to get LeBron, obviously Paul George if they couldn't get him in trade. But they got to hope that, you know, him and Westbrook just don't get along. But this team could go far. Paul George and Westbrook? Paul George is a great two-way player. He averaged 23.7 points per game last year, so he could put up points. Put him side by side with Westbrook, who's another elite scorer, the triple-double king, the reigning MVP of the whole NBA league. Man, I'm kind of excited to see what happens here. It's going to be awesome because they're right down the road. I'm going to go watch Paul George now. Oh, man. I'm still in kind of shock right now. Like I said, I don't like the trade for the Pacers side, but I love it for the Oklahoma City side. I think they just got a fucking great player. Now let's just see if they can convince him to stay. Because if not, then this is just a waste of trade. So tell me what you think, though. Do you think this was a smart move by the Pacers? Do you think that they should have gotten more? Because I do. Josh thinks the same thing. Or do you think this is a good, fair trade? Now also, do you think that Westbrook and him are going to get along, and will he re-sign with the Thunder? Do the Lakers have something to be worried about? Because I think they do. Let us know in the comments down below. And also, if you haven't done so already, go ahead, subscribe, and share this video if you haven't done so already while you're watching. You should have already shared. And also, follow us on Twitter at The Sports Fury. All right, guys. Later.